Good morning, citizens. How are we doing today? I am back to my morning streams. Today, we're going to be doing objection sidebar, which is what we do Friday mornings, which is not celebrity legal cases, not true crime, but it is legal adjacent. So, we're going to get into all of the NFL drama, especially what happened last night on the game. So we have Dak Prescott there and Jalen Carter from the Eagles. And last night was pretty crazy. It was the opening night for the NFL. Hey, Laura, good morning. It was the opening night for the NFL. The game was Eagles versus Cowboys. And within the first, 60 seconds of the game, there was already drama. And everyone's talking about it this morning. It was kind of my Roman Empire last night because there was a plot twist with it where, um, first Jalen Carter was ejected from the game, and then later on, Dak Prescott there was footage of him spitting first, and so we're going to get into that. We're also going to get into the Jay Cutler $25,000 lawsuit against him after he was sentenced for his DUI. So we're going to get into that as well. And then a lawsuit against the NFL in regards to the NFL Sunday ticket. There was a payout for consumers of um, 4.7 billion that was overturned. And now the Ninth Circuit Appeals Court is actually overturning that. And it's likely that they may get a payout. So we're going to get into that. And just a couple of NFL drama lawsuits. We know Drake is also involving the NFL in his lawsuit against UMG, which we've been covering. So just a fun little Friday episode to cover Spitgate and all the drama surrounding the NFL. So we're just going to get right into it. Here we go. And I'm not live because I'm still trying to figure out, as far as showing my face, I'm still trying to figure out how to stream like that and then show images and all that and be able to read it and look at the camera and stuff. So um, hopefully I get used to that and I can start going live on the show. So let me just go ahead and share the screen so we can start. And we're going to start with the juiciest part of it all, which is Spitgate. Here we go. Oh, I did it. There we go. Is it working? Seems like it's frozen for some reason. Of course, we'd have technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. Morning, Miley. Yes, I did get some rest after coming home. Um, as y'all can see, my throat is a little scratchy. I hope I'm not getting sick or anything, and it's just from doing a ton of talking. But okay, so here we go. It wasn't going up. But yeah, I did get some rest yesterday. I got to come home to, watch the Eagles season opener. As some of y'all know, I'm a huge Eagles fan. And yesterday, I actually created a hype video edit to announce that I'm going to be doing a podcast on a different channel called Around the Phone. It's kind of like a play on the sports show Around the Horn, which is like a fun debate show where people got points for answering things and stuff. And so I thought it'd be fun for the NFL season. I'll probably just stream that on Sundays, um, just one night a week as something fun since I'm already following the NFL season. So I don't know what's it saying, Charles. Let me see. What did I pull up? Trying to pull up Spitgate. So let's get to that. Oh, right here. What to know about? I guess it didn't hit the article. Okay, here we go. Um, let me just put it up on the big screen. Monday, so I can do Monday morning quarterback, it said Carm. Hi, Carm, good morning. Yeah, maybe I'll do it Monday, but Monday I stream objection, so we'll see. We'll see how it works out, maybe like a Monday night stream, but I'm gonna have special guests, talking sports, and it'll be mainly NFL, but, some other sports. I know I wanna include, the Caitlin Clark, drama that just popped off yesterday, where she announced that she will no longer be playing for the WNBA. Um, so I'd like, guest thoughts on that because it's kinda controversial because Caitlin, Clark actually brings tons of branding deals and, eyeballs to the WNBA. I know I never watched any WNBA games until Caitlin Clark, sorry, came, and I mean, she plays phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal player. Kudos to Caitlin Clark. I know Angel Reese as well was another one. Watching those two last season in the WNBA was really great. I never even sat for a WNBA game until those two came along, and um, so I know it's going to hurt the game. That's one thing that I want to go over on the podcast, and also, what else did I have? Obviously, Spitgate, people's thoughts on that. Um, let me see what else I had because I remember I bookmarked a bunch of stuff for that. Um, oh, CeeDee Lamb dropping the ball 4 times at last night's game, which is crazy because he's the Cowboys' best player, and, he just couldn't bring it home, and could have been the reason why they lost because, Dak Prescott just could not get any completions, and just the drama surrounding that where some people blame Dak, saying, he overthrew, he underthrew, and a lot of other people said, "What's going on with CeeDee Lamb?" He's normally a great wide receiver, and he had multiple drops, so that was another thing, that I wanted to talk about on the podcast. So just a couple little, I guess, a little preview of what the podcast might be like. And it's pretty fun because you give like points out and it's whoever's like the silliest or whatever on their opinions. And it's a fun way to talk sports. And Around the Horn was canceled. So I thought it would be something fun to do, something different. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into Spitgate. And what happened? What a way to start off. This is from For the Win, Charles Curtis writing Spitgate. What to know about Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott's incident. And this could maybe lead, I don't know, some people are saying criminal charges because spitting can be, considered assault in some states. Not sure if Philadelphia is one of those states. That'd be something to look into. And I'm not sure that Dak would press charges or anything like that, but there's chatter on that with NFL fans. And then we also have, what's going on? Is there going to be a full on suspension? Is it only going to be a couple games? Is there going to be fines? Who's going to be fined? So let's go ahead and get into it. What a way to start off the 2025 NFL season with the spit and an ejection just 6 seconds into. So it was 6 seconds, not 60 into the opening night matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. It was the Birds' defensive tackle, Jalen Carter, who nailed Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott with the disgusting act, although we now know a little context as to why spit was involved in the first place. If you want to know all the answers to your questions about this whole thing, we've got you covered. Here's a look at everything you need to know about what some are calling Spitgate. And I made a joke that my new Roman Empire went from Blake Lively subpoena gate to the NFL Spitgate. Why Jalen Carter was ejected for the spit. So this is Joy Epstein over here on X. She says, I don't see spitting explicitly in the unsportsmanlike conduct example of the NFL rulebook, but rulebooks do note disqualification possible even though no contact is made. I can't imagine the NFL loves a Peyton Man of the Year, referring to Dax, being spit on during first national primetime broadcast. And then here's the page from the book. There shall be no unsportsmanlike conduct. This applies to any act which is contrary to the generally understood principles of sportsmanship. Such acts specifically include, among others, throwing punches, using abusive, threatening language or gestures towards opponents, using baiting or taunting acts or words that may endanger ill will between teams. And see, this is what C is what a lot of people are saying Dak did. But I'll let you guys decide. Any violent gesture, which shall include but not be limited to a throat slash, simulating firing or branding a gun, a nose wipe, unnecessarily physical contact with the game official, prolonged or excessive celebration. So there's all these also new rules too that last night's game. Um, a lot of people were unhappy with. One of the Eagles player was had a flag and 15-yard penalty for supposedly taunting after a play because um, he kind of like flexed his muscles after he made a play and it was considered taunting. So I guess this year they're going into like a whole new rule book of being less aggressive as far as the players, and they went as far as to have the vice president of the NFL send out a video to all the players saying like it's not gonna it's not gonna fly or whatever. So um, it says there's a good explanation. Did Dak Prescott spit first? Video shows that he did spit first, but at the ground. And we'll show the video here in a second. Why did Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott? Perhaps because Prescott spit at the ground might have prompted it? Will Jalen Carter be suspended for the spit? That's a question everyone is asking. Here's some discussion about the potential answer. Spitting has ordinarily resulted in fines, not suspension. And as Tom notes, Carter did miss an entire game last night. Says the NFL will review last night's spitting incident for possible additional discipline, standard for acts that lead to disqualification. Worth noting is that the Eagles' defensive tackle Jalen Carter effectively served a one-game suspension by getting ejected from the first snap. Says, what did Jalen Carter say about the spitting incident? He said, that's a mistake that happened on my side that won't happen again. I feel bad for just my teammates and the fan out there. I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for my family also, but for the fans. They show the most love and you heard them. And so then he goes on to say to not be able to start was, um, gut wrenching and all that stuff. What did Dak Prescott say about the Jalen Carter spitting incident? So this is Dak Prescott's full statement. It says, I probably spit 1,000 times throughout the game. I mean, especially game day, maybe even in general, and something I guess I'm not proud of. But in that case, he was trolling, I guess you could say, or trying to mess with Cowboys RG Tyler Booker, who's, I guess, a rookie. Um, and that's the right guard, one of Dak Prescott's linemen. So he says, I was just looking at him. I was right here by my two linemen, and I guess I needed to spit. And I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, so I just spit ahead. I would say he was back there and was in that sense where he goes, hey, you trying to spit on me? And at that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me because I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure I'm not going to try to spit on you. We're about to play a game. I'm just wondering why you're trying to mess with the rookie. And so when I stepped through, I actually said the words like, why the hell would I, excuse me, but I'm probably even more colorful than that. What would I need to spit on you for? He just spit on me in that moment, and it was more of a surprise than anything. Ref saw it through the flag, and I was like, heck yeah, we get 15 yards to start the game off. I didn't realize he was getting ejected. Unfortunately, that he did. He is a hell of a player, and it changed our plan and our blocking scheme. So he's basically saying he didn't spit at Carter, but rather at the ground, and he had happened to be looking right at the lineman. So um, this is where he explains it. I'm not gonna actually. I was gonna play this clip, but we just read it, so I'm just gonna go ahead to the next clip that shows Dak, and then you guys can. So there he spits, and then he kind of like taunts him and laughs. And then this is where Jalen Carter spits back at him after he goes up to him. So right there, you can't really tell if it lands on Carter, but he is spitting between the two linemen, and it doesn't look like it's hitting the ground. Let's watch it one more time. I mean, it seems like it hits the lineman more than anything, but so then I posted, can't wait to wake up tomorrow morning to see consequences for Prescott as he spits over his lineman's shoulder and taunts Carter in full HD. So from what I saw, I'm like, it looks like he spits on him first. So, I mean, it's not to say that he shouldn't have spit back, but it looks like he spit on him first. Dat Philly cat, we're gonna go into what citizens are saying. At some point, he's going to have to grow the hell up. He's not a kid anymore. He's on the verge of being an all-time player and is about to earn generational wealth for him and his family. Teams know he's a crash out and that they can bait him into penalties. Grow up and be great. So, yeah, that's one citizen saying that Jalen Carter should not have spit, and that's what most people are saying now. Now the Dak Prescott video has come out, they're saying, um, Dak spit first didn't mean Jalen had to spit. He should have been the bigger person. They were, maybe intentionally trying to bait him. Um, if you do watch the NFL and sports, um, and follow the Eagles last season, Jalen Carter is the best on the defense. You know, great at sacking, just incredible. And to lose him, I mean, it showed last night's game. They still got the W, but it really did show. So it says Spitgate, hashtag Spitgate. Dak spit first, prove me wrong. So I love like pop culture moments like this because it's NFL crossing into like water cooler talk. Like a lot of people will be talking about Spitgate this morning. This one was so funny too. It says, "Sir, there's been a second spitter." Hashtag Spitgate. And a lot of people use the Seinfeld clip when Kramer got spit on. And I thought that was also funny too. Some citizens pointed that out. And then here is the rule book according to, I know we saw the other one, but there is something in the rule book that specifically says, it says, according to the NFL rule book, Rule 12, Section 3, Article 1 and 2, unsportsmanlike contact, including striking, kicking, or otherwise contacting an opponent in a manner that is unnecessary or flagrant. But specifically, the league has clarified that spitting at, on, or in the direction of another player, official, or staff member is unsportsmanlike conduct and subject to disqualification. So I had posted that to my ex account. Um, and yeah, so obviously that one was very obvious, and he did it right in front of the referee. That one, not so obvious. Um, so that's the T on Spitgate. And funny enough, there was this really funny article. Back in 2010 was the last Spitgate, which was between Baltimore fullback LaRon McClain spitting on the face of linebacker Channing Crowder. So it was the Miami Dolphins player and a Baltimore player. So I love this little tidbit in this article. It says, uh, Spitgate had it all. A couple of days worth of trash talk buildup, courtesy of Crowder and Ravens receiver Derek Mason. It had videotape of the incident and it even had an Anne Frank reference. All that was missing was McLean trying to not desperately fit an undersized mouthguard to prove his innocence. Hell, McLean even admitted to spitting accidentally on Crowder, but none of that was enough. Crowder claimed McLean spit in his face during a timeout in Sunday's game at Baltimore, which the Ravens won. Miami coach Tony Soprano asked the league to investigate. It says, we've heard a lot of things from Channing over the years. We've talked to LaRon. We've seen the videotape of it. It didn't happen. It's like we said, if you can't see the spit, you must acquit. So I thought that was funny, but in this one, obviously you could see the spit there. So it says, hi Wrathful, good morning. Was all over game. There was a lot of calls that didn't happen. For example, when Jalen rammed the ref offsides unnecessary, to name a few. So some Cowboys fans, um, Barkley, enough said. He's our hometown man. Yep. Thank you, Quarter Faith. Of course. Barkley did great in the game. Can't wait to start the sports podcast because I really, really love talking sports. And I know I don't want to pull a Blake Lively and do like a rug pull. Y'all come here for the Blake Lively drama, and then I'm talking sports. And obviously, the algo doesn't reward the sports because it's a celebrity legal channel that I've established, and particularly the Baldoni Lively lawsuit. So, um, it doesn't reward any of that. That's why I started a separate channel for it, which, I hope gets traction and people subscribe to it. If Laura, if you can put it in the or here, I can actually put it. It's at Around the Phone. That's going to be the sports podcast that I'm going to start. So, um, you guys, if you guys are interested in sport, Quarter or Miley or anyone who wants to follow my sports talk, go ahead and follow me there on YouTube at Around the Phone. And eventually, I guess I'll do an X account too. But it's fun because I'm going to be following the NFL season. So it's just something that's going to naturally come to me. So let's go ahead and get into the NFL Sunday Ticket lawsuit update. It says in an order filed on Wednesday, obtained by Daniel Kaplan of Awful Announcing, the judge that's presently overseeing the NFL Sunday Ticket class action lawsuit wrote that the previous judge in charge of the case erred in dismissing the plaintiff's claims for injunctive relief without consideration of their ability to demonstrate threatened loss or damages. Had the original jury verdict of 4.7 billion in damages not been overturned, the NFL could have been forced to pay more than 14 billion since damages can be tripled under federal antitrust law. Judge George H. Wu also claimed that the prior judge arrived to the case quite late in the game and was not as familiar as the counsel with the issues that were presented. So this is a case in which the NFL was accused of collusion with DirecTV, the former primary home of an out-of-market game package until 2023, along with CBS and Fox, saying they colluded to raise the subscription prices for watching the games. The jury had voiced that consumers were placed at a disadvantage through the NFL conspiring to fix prices for the service, which has been in operation since 1994. So the original ruling that happened, um, this went to trial and everything. It was class action lawsuits with a bunch of these people who had, um, gotten the subscription, and the original jury verdict was for 4.7 billion in damages, which could have been, like it says above there, 14 billion because of the triple damages that they could have acquired. But what happened was it went to appeal and it got overturned. But now it is, so it says Wu made these remarks as he ruled on staying the order for the plaintiffs to pay the NFL approximately 321 million in court costs. So basically he overturned it and said that the plaintiffs had to pay the NFL for their court costs. Upon plaintiffs referring to the case as a landmark issue of national importance, Wu argued that such a claim is not an exaggeration based on the number of amicus briefs that are filed in the pending appeal. So as you guys know, if you know, amicus briefs, um, we seen them filed in Drake versus UMG. We had a bunch of hip hop scholars file, why that case is going to be super important, for what rap music becomes, freedom of speech, all kinds of things. Um, how it'll affect hip hop. Then we saw amicus briefs in the Baldoni Lively case as well, where people were saying, some of them were saying this is going to be a chilling effect on women who experience, DV, which there was no DV here, but or SH, and there was also I believe Colonel filed an amicus brief on behalf of Baldoni's side. Um, so yeah, very familiar with amicus briefs now that I'm into all the legal tea. And so it seems like there was numerous filed. It says NFL Sunday Ticket continues to be available through YouTube TV under a 7-year deal that is reportedly worth 14 billion over the term. So let me show you guys the order, and I will link it because I did not link it in the description this time, but I will link the actual order in the description. Um, It says they need to just let you buy each game individually for streaming or your team games or just the Super Bowl. Even paying for the ticket is insane. My teen daughter loves sports and my husband too. They are diehard Cowboys fans. So your Eagles and their Cowboys, that must be a fun rivalry when they play together. Um, why'd you sound like a stalker, Miley? I'll follow you anywhere, CJ. Oh, this is the funny joke. No, it did not sound stalkery. It sounded like a Colleen and Blake. I'll follow you anywhere. Remember? I will follow. How does she exactly say it? I forget, but it's where Blake tells Colleen, "I'll follow you anywhere." So it's always like an inside joke that I always say those words. But yeah, I appreciate it that you subscribed. Something to look forward to there. But here's the order, and I'll link it. And so this is just another style of legal drama. It's NFL legal drama, still legal, still in my niche, but I get to talk sports. Um, so it says, in regards to the National Football League Sunday ticket antitrust litigation. And here you can read it. It's only 7 pages long. It's not that long. Um, But it basically says the conclusion, based on the foregoing discussion, the court would exercise its discretion to stay consideration of the motion pending the outcome of plaintiff's appeal. So basically saying they don't have to pay NFL court costs until this other appeal, because now they're appealing to the Ninth Circuit Court saying that, you know, they deserve the payout or whatever. So this is one to look out for, because, it will change the game on how we watch sports. And it's funnily enough, as that's going on, this is just an article from a couple days ago. NFL games will be harder and pricier to watch this season. So it's like the consumers are the ones that are being affected. It says watching every NFL game this season could cost over $750 as more matchups move to streaming platforms like Prime, Netflix, and Peacock. So before NFL Sunday Ticket, if you had that, you could just watch all the games there. But, obviously the prices were being raised, and, it's kinda like the same as, like, concert tickets as well too, and all the lawsuits and stuff going around with that. Now consumers are getting smart and they're like, "Yo, what's going on with my money?" So it says the NFL season kicks off on Thursdays, and for fans of one of the 32 franchises, finding games on television might be more challenging this year. According to forums, it could cost fans more than 750 in subscription fees to watch every game this season. That's because NFL broadcasts will appear on more streaming platforms than ever before. ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox will continue airing the majority of the games, but Fox and CBS broadcasts are shown on a regional basis. So for fans to catch all the action in the 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern windows, they'll need to pay $378 for NFL Sunday Ticket plus a base subscription of $83 per month. YouTube TV, along with other cable providers, will give fans access to games airing on ESPN and NFL Network. ESPN will continue carrying Monday Night Football games, while NFL Network will broadcast most of the international matchups. Streaming platforms are also expanding their presence. Amazon Prime Video will again carry Thursday Night Football, while Netflix will debut 2 games on Christmas Day. Another change this year, NBC streaming service Peacock will air a game in Week 17. One streaming game fans can watch at no cost is the Chiefs Chargers matchup this Friday, which is today, and that's out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. I know we had the Sao Paulo game. I'm looking forward to. I just love the Brazil game. I love that the NFL is in the Brazilian market now, and that they're getting excited about American football. Um, Really, really cool. I know when we played there, lots of Eagles fans. Shout out to all, I know I have, I don't know if I have fans in Brazil, but if I do, shout out to all the Brazilian fans and Eagles fans in Brazil as well. In total, 10 different outlets will carry NFL games this season. So this to me is just ridiculous. Like, just give us one way to watch it. Like, I literally have to Google like what's going on, who has the games, this, that, or the other. And then also a new thing is that Red Zone. The Red Zone channel was where you could watch multiple games at a time, and they're now going to be having commercials on the Red Zone channel. So that's another thing that I had wanted to talk about on my podcast, which is, would you still watch Red Zone with commercials? Like, is it still worth it? Um, so yeah, so that's the whole NFL lawsuit of that. And then our last story for today, before we wrap up, is going to be good old Jay Cutler, who is just crashing out, y'all. He is seriously crashing out. Um, Oh, that's so funny. Carmina said creating different emails and signing up for Fubo free trial. Uh, oh, Miley. I thought that after I sound like Colleen. Yeah. But it's funny. I like it. It's really funny. Miley says, I don't follow sports, but I'm a Browns fan and a Saints fan for American football and Manchester United and Watford fan for proper football. Yeah, and I have another friend who I collaborated with on the Diddy trial. Y'all remember Heinz? Uh, Heinz Ketchup Court. He has a soccer channel he's trying to get started as well. And so maybe I can have him on the podcast and talk soccer. Maybe we can also include some Wrexham in there, some shit talking on Wrexham. Um, yeah, so in this economy, oh hey Pam, good morning. The NFL is just robbing us blind. Great time to get into local high school sports. Yes, Pam. I know I have a nephew who's does high school football. He's doing his booster league, so I've been supporting him there. But as far as watching high school games, outside of him, I haven't gone into the high school sports market. I guess I should, locally see what's available to me and support that as well. But I'm still a huge fan of the NFL, as so many people are saying it's rigged, the refs, the how to watch the games, this or that. I have a passion for American football, and I've seen other leagues that they've, like the indoor arena leagues and other things that have been tried, but I'm a sucker for it. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for me to give it up. Um, I just can't. And then being like a huge Eagles fans, I just can't. But great points, Pam. Yes, even college bowl is now disappointing because it's monetized now. I don't agree with it at all. Good morning, Pam. I'm so happy whenever you show up. So special to see the support from Pam Entertainment TV. If y'all don't follow her, she does celebrity pop culture legal cases as well. And she's my go-to for Drake versus UMG. She's been really hitting that one hard. Um, so I love her for that. We did a stream. If you look on my videos, her and I did a collab on that. Laura says, I love UK football and was a major Wrexham fan before Stupid Blake. What? Laura, you were a Wrexham fan? Oh no. I was a Ryan Reynolds fan before Blake. One of my favorite movies was Just Friends. And then the change up, the last time I know I said it on another stream, I was fixing to watch the change up and I realized, oh shoot, Ryan Reynolds is in it. Because I love that like as a background movie because it's such an easy watch and it's super fun. It's a fun movie. Um, and so yeah, anyways, let's get into I followed Ryan Raffles says through his entire career. Yeah, I liked some of his stuff. He was kind of like the goofy guy, but then now in retrospect, I'm like, he was kind of one ranged. So in retrospect, I gave him another look. Mega Wrexham fan, twice a week watching the games. Oh wow. I didn't really watch soccer like that, or what they call football. But I never liked RR. I hate Deadpool and his rom-coms. Okay, so moving on for those who are just here for the sports and don't follow Baldoni versus Lively, let's get into Kristen Cavallari's ex, Jay Cutler, who is being sued by victim of his DUI crash. Now, if y'all remember, Jay Cutler was quarterback for the Bears at one point. It says very Cavallari. So this is some reality TV too, because they had their own reality TV show. This is a Kristen Cavallari from The Hills fame. And then obviously, he was in the NFL for some time and just been crashing out. Hasn't had any luck lately. It says Jay Cutler is being sued by the man he hit when he was drunk driving with a loaded gun, in parentheses, in October of 2024. In court reports obtained by People, Kristen Cavallari's ex was hit with the lawsuit in addition to being charged with additional time behind bars. And I'll also link that paperwork in the lawsuit in the description. I didn't have time to before the show, but I will link that for all the legal nerds that want to just read it. About a year ago in Tennessee, Jay hit Perry Lee's car while drinking and driving. Cutler failed to use reasonable and due care in the operation of the vehicle he was driving so as to avoid injury to other persons using the roadway, including Lee. Lee's attorney, Sidney Pierce, wrote in the suit noting that Cutler was intoxicated at the time of the crash. Time to pay the piper. Perry Lee received unexpected medical bills and other expenses due to the crash, per the lawsuit. Lee endured physical pain and mental suffering. He also experienced a loss of enjoyment of life as a direct and proximate result of the collision. The document reads Perry Lee is also seeking unspecified compens- what? Okay. Perry Lee is also seeking unspecified compensatory damages. He suffered lost wages, loss of earning capacity, and other out of pocket expenses as a direct and proximate result of the collision. Lee's lawyers provided a statement. Our client is a veteran who was injured in a car crash due to the alleged negligence of another driver. His injuries from the crash caused him daily pain and have eroded his quality of life. We are seeking justice for him so he can get the care he needs to try to move forward with his life. Jailbird J. Jay Cutler has been sentenced to 4 days behind bars after striking a plea deal in his DUI and gun possession case. Kristen has yet to comment on her children's father going back to the slammer. Page 6 reported that Jay is to surrender himself within a month. Do you think there is any way Jay Cutler won't be found guilty in this DUI lawsuit against him? Sound off below. So you guys can sound off in the comments if you're replay crew or in the chat now. It seems like, this is from page 6. He was sentenced 2 weeks ago. Jay Cutler just served jail time for DUI. Says Jay Cutler has been sentenced to 4 days behind bars after striking a plea deal in his DUI and gun possession case. He pleaded guilty to one count of misdemeanor DUI in a Tennessee courtroom Tuesday. So this was, 2 weeks ago, I think. Not this Tuesday, but last Tuesday. So it says prosecutors dismissed this weapon possession charge upon forfeiture of the weapon. Aside from his jail time, which will begin within 30 days, he'll also be fined $350 and will be required to be on 1 year of supervised probation and submit to regular and random drug tests. Additionally, his license was revoked. So there he is when he played for the Chicago Bears. Um, there's his mugshot, which is also in the thumbnail. Cutler's rep didn't immediately respond for comment, but it says Kristen Cavallari's ex-husband was arrested last October in Franklin, Tennessee. He rear-ended another car and allegedly attempted to flee the scene before police arrived. The Franklin Police Department told Page 6 at the time that he offered to pay the driver $2,000 if they didn't call the police. He should have offered to pay more. I mean, I know that, he's running out of NFL money probably. He had a divorce, which we'll get into. I believe it's here, the divorce settlement part, um, where Kristen Cavallari says, I wish Jay nothing but the best, and I do hope that he gets the help that he needs, but that's the only thing I'll be saying about it publicly. And then it gets into the exes are not on the best of terms because earlier this month, Cutler accused Cavallari of lying about not receiving any money from him in their divorce settlement. And so she's saying Cutler, who earned approximately 127.9 million during his 12-year NFL career, said that there's not a judge in the state of Tennessee that would have signed off on a divorce agreement that would allow him to keep every single dollar. So he's saying she got a payout. She's lying about it. It's irresponsible and reckless. I think it's borderline slander to insinuate that there was $0 split during the marriage that each side got. It's insanity. It's completely false, completely untrue. It just is. I've got a divorce decree. I've got something that's signed by the judge. It's like 67 pages. It says the number breakdown in there. So I'm interested to see. I'm like, drop the receipts, Jay. I want to read the 67 pages. And what all Kristen got. I like Kristen Cavallari. She was a guest on Billy Bush a couple weeks back, which I thought was really cool. A really cool collab. I like her podcast and everything. The former Chicago Bears quarterback announcer split in 20 and the Laguna Beach alum. Oh, I forgot. She's known from Laguna Beach, not the Hills. She wasn't on the Hills, was she? Um, they announced their split in 2020 after 7 years of marriage, and their divorce was finalized. So you can see he's like, a pretty boy right there. And then all of a sudden he just crashed out. So between the divorce, him not getting any work in the league, um, here we have a little bit more details. Daily Mail Shout out to the Daily Mail. This is James Cohen, the sports reporter. But shout out to Daily Mail. Especially now with the Baldoni case, um, even though James Vitushka, um, that whole drama with Daily Mail and what they did, I still come here. This is my go-to. It says on Tuesday, Cutler he pleaded guilty to one count of misdemeanor DUI, but this had a little bit more Easter eggs in here. Um, or just little tidbits, nuggets, I should say, not Easter eggs. This had a couple more nuggets. According to the filing, Lee alleged that Cutler was at fault for the collision and failed to use reasonable and due care in the operation of the vehicle he was driving. Um, he was allegedly intoxicated at the time. He rear-ended Lee's blue GMC with his Dodge Ram truck and then tried to flee the scene. He then allegedly offered $2,000 not to call the police. Lee claims that the crash left him with medical bills, physical and mental suffering, and a diminished quality of life. The lawsuit claims that he also suffered lost wages, loss of earning capacity, or other out of pocket expenses. He is seeking damages in excess of $25,000. And I'm like, how much of that 127 million must he still have? He made that over 12 years, and we know like what the NFL does to um players and money and how easily it is to lose, a divorce, how that's been split. But like, I mean, just pay the man. I mean, a dragged out lawsuit and all your dirty laundry being aired out. His injuries from the crash caused him delayed pain and have eroded his quality of life, not delayed, daily pain. We are seeking justice for him so he can get the care he needs and try to move forward with his life. Um, and it says that his client is a veteran. So, wow, U.S. Veteran. It says Cutler will report to jail on September 29th. So it's going to be 3 days in jail, and must also pay a $350 fine. His license was revoked, and he has to take safety classes. So it says police say they noticed a strong odor of alcohol during their conversation with him, who reportedly had bloodshot eyes and was uh, slurring his words. He refused to field sobriety test and was taken to a hospital where they forced a blood sample. Cutler initially told police that he hadn't consumed alcohol before allegedly later admitting to just having a little bit. He also faced a charge of possession of a handgun under the influence after a rifle and a loaded Glock were found in his vehicle. However, prosecutors dismissed the weapon possession charge after he forfeited the firearms. So that's the tea on Jay Cutler, and hopefully he gets it together and learns from this. We know Justin Timberlake also had a DUI, that affected his career and stuff. So hopefully these celebrities and sports stars know better than to put themselves into these situations, like with self-driving cars now, Uber, like there's just literally no excuse for any of this. So um, that's the tea on all of that. We covered Spitgate. We covered other NFL lawsuits. Good morning, Kenny. Oh, good morning, DFJ. Shout out to DFJ. Thank you for coming on. I know she's been going through a lot with her grandfather, and now she's back. All my condolences to DFJ for that. Been trying to be really supportive of her. Glad you came on this morning. I appreciate you so much. And if you need anything, just let us know. We will be getting back into the Perez Hilton drama. If you're up to it, I'm doing a show Monday, recapping all of that because there's been some new Easter eggs in that whole saga. There's been all kinds of new stuff going on. Yes, he looks wrecked. He was a stud. Yeah, I don't know if it was the divorce that got him to like this level or what, but yeah, definitely he should at least get 30 days. 4 days won't teach him a lesson. I think it's only 3 days. Yeah, it's only 3 days. Um it's like weekend jail. Why bother with 4 days? Give him at least 30 days. Why did he have a gun on him? We don't know. Maybe just self-defense. Not sure. So, um There was an apparent smear campaign leverage. Oh, yes, I did see that, and mildly, I do have that bookmarked for a show, as well with, smear campaigns. I know I did a smear campaign show with, Drake and Blake because 'cause they're both, doing smear campaigns or claiming smear campaigns. But I did have that bookmarked with Pedro Pascal. I saw that in a comment that you had made on one of my videos. And I bookmarked that for a show. So it says Pedro Pascal around the um, FF promos. It's weaponizing his social anxiety and comforting human touch. Maybe Ryan Reynolds. Um, could be Ryan Reynolds. A lot of people think it was uh, Ryan Reynolds and Iron Man who got into that alleged incident on the set of the new Avengers, saga. But it could have been Pedro Pascal and Ryan, for all we know. But yeah, I'll definitely keep looking into that, and I have it bookmarked for a show. So thank you mildly. Um, oh, she said, "Yay!" Um, what is the new Roman Empire? This is your new Roman, but I agree, it's ludicrous. Oh, the 3 days. Yeah, 3 days is. Um, thank you for all your support. While I've been shattered, I'm finally doing okay now. That's great. That's good to know, DFJ. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. Um, Doomsday, yeah, Avengers Doomsday. There was a yes, let's do Perez CJ. We were right on our live about it, right? Yeah, they wanted a detailed list, and he did tell him be prepared to answer about the cost. But see, this is where I think that the craziness of the judge, where why didn't he just tell him exactly what he needed? Like, instead of saying be prepared to argue the costs, um, he should have said, "Be prepared with a detailed list of what it would take, contact the vendors." He should have said that in the first place, I feel like. I'm saying it after the fact. I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts on that, so, yes, let's recap on Perez. Um, Maybe we can do a night show on it tomorrow night, because I know I'm gonna definitely do a recap on the Monday show where I do the Monday medley. It'll be, Perez and all that stuff, but I usually don't do co-hosts in the mornings because, everybody wants it under an hour, so I usually just free flow. So maybe we can do one, tomorrow night. I wasn't planning on streaming this weekend, but we can do one maybe tomorrow night or Sunday night. Because it's juicy, and Perez just filed a new brief, and it'll just be interesting to see what happens on Monday when he submits the vendor lists and all that stuff. And I do still have to upload the pictures to Instagram, um, from, the happy hour and stuff. I know people are still waiting on that. I said that I would do that. Um, so yeah, I will definitely get into that. Looking forward to the sports podcast. Let me go ahead and, show y'all. Hold on one second. Let me go to YouTube and pull it up for you guys so you guys can go subscribe for any sports fans. Um, for some reason, let me try and pull it up here. Sorry about that, guys. As the NFL season starts, and sorry I'm so rusty. I haven't like done a show in a couple days and just kind of like done short lives, so I was a little rusty today. Um, so here we go. Let's share the tab. So I don't have anything up yet. Um, it's just a Eagles banner. It's called at Around the Phone. So it'll be kind of like the Around the Horn. If you guys aren't familiar with Around the Horn, it's this really cool show. Let me see if I can find like a little small clip. Um, that's just him signing off. Let me see. I think this one might be a good one. Okay, it said I lost audio, so you guys can't hear it. But I'll link the this video, but it explains what Around the Horn was. But it's just like a show. Let me see right here, where different people would get on, and you would score points based on like how good you debated and what your argument was, and then it was just kind of like a fun little show. And now it's canceled, so I kind of wanted to recreate it and have a couple of guests come on and talk sports. I thought it would be pretty fun. So if you're interested in coming on the show, let me know. Um, Drop me a DM on X. Um, I'm or C Journalist 24 on all platforms where you can DM me. So you can Around the Horn brought us Stephen A. Smith and will be and all the best. My fave was Woody. Yes. Uh, yes, I will definitely keep you updated on is it Jay Cutler? Is that what you're talking about? Is your Roman Empire? My Roman Empire is Spitgate. I want to know what's happening with Jalen, if like it's gonna get more serious. Yes, so the CJ sweatshirt that I was wearing, that is from Ari Jacobs merch shop. Um, Ari Jacobs is on YouTube here. I think it's at Ari Jacobs. And she has that citizen journalist sweatshirt. I'm gonna be working on some merch myself. I know a lot of people have been asking for Roman Empire merch. Hey, Khaleesi. You're okay. We're still kind of chopping it up here. But yes, definitely the Spitgate was pretty crazy. Oh, your Roman Empire is Pedro Pascal. That's what oh no, wait. This is Wrathful. This isn't Mildly Mercurial. What is I resurrected one of mine that was about this for Stan Lee. Wrathful, I am so like lost. Okay, y'all, how did I get lost? Um, Wrathful, what Roman Empire do I have to keep you updated? Is that are we talking about um Perez? Are we talking about she says I have too many Roman Empires. I'm lost. Oh, are you talking about the how many days he gets? Um, who's Jonathan Baller Jack, Wrathful? No, it's Jonathan Baller Jack. Who is that? I wish I have social to keep up, but YouTube is my limit. I try to unplug from all that. Yeah, well, I was just saying because I can't get DMs on YouTube. You can always drop me a comment if you're interested, but if you want to come on the show around the phone, you can drop me a DM on any of the other social media platforms or comment below if you're interested. Um, in coming on as a guest if you know sports and want to talk sports. It's mainly going to be NFL. I'm going to try not to make it a full-on Eagles podcast, but mainly will be NFL. And like I said, we'll be talking WNBA, just any sports news, sports legal stuff too if it comes up. um, but I want to try and keep it oh, she was talking about Jay Cutler. Oh, Jonathan Ballerjack was a caretaker for Stanley. He came out with a documentary, but we got it kicked off of Kickstarter because he films all the abuse and did nothing. Ooh, that might be a case to look into. Um, it says that's a smart idea to limit. I'm glad you do YouTube because it's always great when you're in the chat. Yes, for sure. I love it too. And I'm kind of moving into other platforms. I started strictly on X, no YouTube, and then now I'm like more so on YouTube. And I want to start getting into TikTok and Instagram. So I'll upload those pictures. Um, and yeah, so that's going to be the show. Um, it's at Around the Phone. Go hit the subscribe. I should subscribe for my channel. There you go. Um, so it says Around the Phone is your fast paced, fan driven sports debate show inspired by Around the Horn. Quick hitting guests, hot takes, and plenty of laughs keep the energy high. As a diehard Eagles fan, I'll break down the Birds season week by week while also diving into the biggest story across the NFL and sprinkling in other sports when the moment calls for it. If you love football, debates, and a good laugh, you'll feel right at home. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. And, we have still all the other stuff that I've been promising you guys with my vertical series on YouTube and all that stuff. It's all coming. I'm getting nice and organized and um we'll be bringing all that to you. So maybe a show on Saturday. Um, might take the weekend off. I'm not sure. Just stay tuned. Turn on your notifications. I know a lot of people said that they didn't have get notifications. I guess you're limited to 3 a day. Um, so that might be why I went live a bunch of times during the Perez Hilton trial, um, or hearing. But yeah, turn your notifications. And what I noticed when I wasn't getting notifications, there's 2 settings. One's like personal, go to all notifications so it notifies you on everything. Because one of them is just notifies if you're mentioned. Um, oh, the crime crew. Yes, Donna Adelson. I'm thinking of covering that Sunday night. Because that's when I do the crime show is Sunday 8 p.m. Um, CDT, I believe. Um, so yeah, Donna Adelson was found guilty. I want to go through it all because the show's going to be called Wendy's Next, and a lot of predictions that Wendy will be arrested by Monday. So looking forward to that. Other than that, that's the sports drama. So hopefully we get some sports geeks who see this thumbnail and come on and can subscribe to the podcast. And I know it's not my usual content. Like I said, I don't mean to be Blake, pull the rug, but I make content on what my Roman empires are. And, the algo obviously doesn't reward me with this type of content. So that's why I started a whole new channel for it. Um, I'll probably upload this video over there um, at some points. Um, many creators are not getting alerts on YouTube right now. Yeah, that's really weird. Well, I always post on X, and I'm gonna start to post on the community because 'cause that'll at least pop up too. DFJ says, "You do you, CJ." Exactly. A lot of people are saying like, "Oh, you're starting a whole new other channel. You're barely taking off with this one." But I figured, I just started that YouTube channel and it took off, and so I feel like I could do it again. I'm real passionate about, NFL, American football, the Eagles. I have tons of knowledge. And even in other sports, like I said, WNBA with Caitlin Clark. Um, I dabble in a little bit of soccer. Um, and then baseball, there's on the podcast, I wanted to go over this play the other night, the Yankees game, where they called a catch, a full on catch, a drop, because as he was transferring the ball to throw it, he drops it. And just the rules of the game and how, like, the refs, what refs are they making good calls? Are they not? That's also a debate in the NFL too. So I thought that was something spicy to go over in the podcast too, with baseball and how the refs do calls. And then there's also what other sports? I know Elsrich said she watches tennis, and I forget what the other one was, but I had invited her on, so I know that she would be so fun and so funny. Um, Yeah, I think she said it was, let me think. She said she watched, tennis and basketball, are her go-tos, and then hockey. Um, so, wherever it comes in, I love me some tennis as well. Um, there's certain people that I do watch and, watch it sometimes. And then pickleball's making a big comeback, and Gary V of, content creator fame has been, uplifting the game of pickleball too. So maybe we can get into some pickleball. DFJ says she does tennis, figure skating, and baseball. I love figure skating as well. I just saw one of a little girl doing a figure skating routine with uh, like a kind of like riding like a horse, but it was like an inflatable kind of unicorn thing. I don't know, but it was just so funny because she's, like, doing the dancing, but then you see, like, if you ever seen those, like, little inflatable costumes where it looks like someone's sitting on a horse or whatever, and she did, like, a routine like that. I'll have to find it and look it up, to send it to you, DFJ, but it was really, really, really cool. Um, the Russian drama of figure skating is almost more crazy than the Blake lawsuit. Ooh, spicy. Um, yeah, and that's what there's a movie with, what's his name? Is it Seth Rogen? No, Will Ferrell. Is it Will Ferrell? That's kinda like the trope on the ice skating stuff. and all the drama that happens in that world. Hey, Pihala, thanks for stopping by. We're pretty much wrapping up now. Um, I'm doing the Russian goodbye. Speaking of Russians, I'm like, okay, bye, and then I bring up something else. Um, Oh, you keep checking, that's how you get notified, because yeah, that's how I am, like, I know, Blades of Glory thank you, Laura, all the yeah, Blades of Glory actually, um, makes fun of all the figure skating tropes and stuff like that. Um, Irish Goodbye. Is it also Irish Goodbye, um, when you take too long? 'Cause I've always heard it as Russian goodbye, where it's like they go out to they say bye, and then they say bye at the door, and then they walk you out to your car, and then they still talk in by the car, and then as the car is driving off, they're still kinda talking to you. Um, Debate is good in basketball too, with LeBron not producing in the way almost every game has an excessive amount of traveling not being called. Yeah, the, NBA is also a good one. The Irish goodbye is when you sneak out and leave. Yeah, so there you go. Definitely, I don't just sneak out and leave. Uh, I sit here and talk with y'all for another like 10 minutes. But yes, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, follow, comment. Also, I was told to let you guys know about Hype. Some of you guys have Hype. If after the stream, when you're watching the video, if you scroll to the right of where the comments are, usually it's like comments, live chat, and there's a thing called Hype. You can only hype people 3 times a day. So if, you want me to be one of your hype content creators in one of my videos, I would totally appreciate, you hyping my stuff. It helps with the algorithm and boosting me in the algo. So just something to look into. I'm gonna repeat it on Monday morning's show for Objection Celebrity Court Chatter. If you guys wanna give me your hype, it helps a ton. It's not a super chat or a super sticker or anything like that. Hype me and I'll hype you. Yes, for sure, Wrath. I will for sure. Um, oh my God, this is funny. I rescued a feral cat and we named him Will Ferrell. He lives at a cat sanctuary now and is the cat they used to help introduce new cats to the colony. On that positive, very positive note, let's end that. We'll continue to monitor Spitgate. Follow me on X, where I just went from Baldoni versus Blake. My followers must have been like, "What the heck happened?" It was Eagles Tourette yesterday, but get used to the obnoxious Eagle stuff on my X, because the season has started, and that's what's going to be doing. Um, I'm going to be talking about the Eagles. So go check me out on X for all the latest on all this NFL drama. We'll keep you updated on what happens with Jay Cutler. Um, yeah, so y'all have a great day. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you on X, I'm sure. And on Monday, let's stay tuned. Like I said, maybe we'll be streaming Donna Adelson Sunday night, and maybe something with Perez tomorrow night. Yes, the hype does help small creators get seen. All right, bye guys. Wrathful is telling us all to go. Take care. Have a good one.